Now, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna be as nitpicky as possible.
Oh, please do.
Cool. Because I think that'll be useful. So number one, I would encourage you to start working on flipping on kickoff, because it is useful. You don't have to do speed flips, but even just a forward flip, a flip of any kind, because it can help you preserve boost as well. Because then when you land after, like, if you flip, so you boost a little and you flip, you'll get up to Supersonic and probably have about 12 boost left. And then when you land, you can use that to recover to go get the pad on the side.
Okay.
Otherwise, your kickoffs are way more consistent than mine, so...
I mean, my kickoffs haven't changed since I started playing this game, so...
You got the John Sandman kickoff strat.
Just driving straight at it.
Okay.
This, I should have turned back farther. Maybe
yeah, so, I think you have two options here. Well, three, technically. Number one, you could just turn and immediately jump at this, because you got 90 boost, so you could literally just turn and full send it. Because right now, with where they're positioned, if you jump immediately, there's a chance that you could actually put this on target. Now, note that would be practice with shooting, but there is an absolute chance that you could jump up to this and put that on target. The other option, and a way to possibly preserve a bit more boost, is you could also, instead of jumping straight from here, you can use the sidewall, so you could drive up the wall and then jump out to it. Or, you could also, I wouldn't recommend this, but you could also just leave. Because the last thing you want to do is wait for it to get too high above you. Because what happens when the ball gets really high above you is you can get up to it, but you're not going to do anything with the touch once you get up there. Because it's just you're just going to poke it away from yourself, and then the other team's just going to be like, cool, free ball, thanks. So, yeah, I would recommend going faster and trying to get to it before it gets above your head.
Got it.
That's a good word. This is something you do that I struggle to do, in that you see me there, so then you know there's no point in going back to the corner, so you rotate back behind me. As demonstrated in the previous game, that is something that sometimes I struggle to do. Also, good attempt in trying to get it out. Very close try there as well. That was almost really good.
I had the idea.
Oh yeah, I don't understand how you scored this. I don't know why he just left after he bumped you, but we'll take it.
I think he was trying to pick up a pad or maybe two on the way.
I remember, because I watched over these, I remember thinking there was something here.
Oh, here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know what it was. Okay, so, in these situations, and let me just go into fly, because that'll be easier. So, another thing, and this is something Ga told me about, because I have also a habit of whenever I'm coming back, I just go all the way back in here, and I chill until whatever happens, happens. What Ga told me, is that it can be useful to, instead of always just full sending it straight back into net, to slow down around this area and then just kind of wait out around here. And the reason why is because from here, you can defend pretty much anything. Because if the ball comes up to the backboard, or if I lose control, or what the bounce that's about to happen with this ball happens, you can attack it a lot sooner from out here. And you can also defend a lot more coming from them from out here than you can from in here. Now, if this ball rolls safely up the back wall, and I'm staying on it, that would be your cue to just kind of roll back into net, because you then know that I have control. But when that bounce happens, you would actually probably be faster to this ball than me, because I'm now trying to react to this stupid thing, and I'm also still driving up the wall. So, I was already, like, full committed driving up the wall, so if you're here, you can actually probably react a lot faster to this, than I can.
But wouldn't they still beat me in that situation?
They could, but the reason you'd want to react faster, is because you can cut down their angles. So if he's coming with a fast shot, if you're waiting here...
You still have a defensive position, yeah.
Yeah, if you're waiting here and you have 0 momentum, and he shoots this as hard as he can, you're not saving it. You can't react to it from that far away. So the best bet is just to go out and challenge every angle you can. Just block out as much of the net as possible, and then hopefully you do enough that I can then take care of the save. This is still an awkward situation anyway, because my touch bounced the ball out. So you're in a horrible spot right now regardless. So ideally this doesn't happen. But the right play generally when you have someone on the back wall is just attack the ball as fast as possible. and then make them do something. Because hopefully you can get them. Because the other thing you don't want them to do is somehow take control of this ball and then like go for an air dribble, because then we're in a horrible spot. So you want to make sure that they have as little options as possible, while we have as many chances as possible to save whatever they're gonna do. It works out, because luckily they double commit, and then I still don't... Oh, he spun out. That might be why I didn't turn, and then you got a nice shot.
Yeah, he had no boost, so...
And we got the low 5. You love to see it.
I ended up getting a high 5, I think, last night.
Gosh darn it! I'm literally planning on making a video about that.
Oh, I remember this. That was just a upset 50.
Yeah. So, number one,
Yeah,
this is really good positioning. And then, yeah, I would say you waited too long. And then number two, a thing that I think you'll benefit from is not utilizing your second jump necessarily to get up into the air, but using it as its flip instead. Because on this play, and I watched this carefully, you use both jumps to get up, and now at this point you have no way to adjust your car to block anything. Yeah. Whereas if you had saved your flip, number one, if you hold your jump button down, you're probably getting up to this height anyway. But yeah, so if you had your flip, I forgot to speed it up, we'll just wait for it to come around to us. If you had your flip, you could probably safely push this out to the right, or at least block it into the corner. Additionally, if you look currently, like, to the left of him, that's where the open space is. So I would even encourage, because at this moment... Wrong one. I'll figure out where these buttons are eventually. At the moment that he shoots that, he's air-rolled his car all the way to the right side of the ball from our perspective. So, because he's all the way over there, we know the only place that his car can remain while this ball is in the air is to the right. So if you air roll a bit to the right side of the ball and flip out towards the left, it's going to go out into midfield. And as we can see right now, no one's out there. So if we can clear it past him on his left side, then that's a free clear. Even if it had stayed on the post, it would have been fine, but that's still unfortunate how it just kind of landed.
And I think I did the double jump because, like, the whole speed thing. I'm like, I just gotta get up quick. You know, worried about
absolutely.
These guys. This one I hesitated too much, and then I didn't break. I think I even yelled at myself about braking.
Yeah, so, a good note on these, because I think every Rocket League player can never count how many times they get scored on for things like this, because this happens literally at every rank you get to. I don't think I've seen a rank yet that this doesn't happen yet. So basically, as soon as you see this kickoff, like right here, you know he's landing closer to the ball. Now, normally, logic would tell you that he's going to go get the boost, but if you put yourself in the offensive player's shoes, so if you were Death Wish Hero here, and this kickoff happens, and that ball is there, and you're landing there, I'm pretty sure you would be turning for that, and at least planning on getting a 50. So, with that in mind, it's helpful to realize, okay, he's probably from that position going to take possession of the ball, so I can't afford to get too close, but you also currently know that he lacks boost. So whatever attack he comes up with probably isn't going to be that vicious. But obviously you just kind of get too close. So if you stay a bit further back, whatever he's going to do, you can probably defend, because it's not like he can do anything super crazy with the 12 boost he has. So if you like retreat all the way back to net and play near post, you can probably save whatever. And then once it gets here, you're kind of just done for.
Right there. I hate that. That's right.
Yep. And that's another situation.
Moment.
Yeah, and so this is another one of those situations, like exactly what Lethamyr was talking about today. Because if you either you probably have to take off ball cam, but if you take off ball cam, like as soon as this touch happens and you see it going to the backboard, number one, from right here, you know Mickey's behind midfield. So if you look to where Mickey is, he's not close enough to really impact this ball super fast. Because he's not necessarily expecting this either. There's no way anyone can expect this to happen because it's a 50. So no one knows exactly where the ball's going.
He's still in good position to jump up, though.
Yeah.
He'll be able to read the bounce before I can.
Yes, but he's still going to be slower because he's going to be coming at it currently with 0 momentum. Because he's kind of just chilling. He's not moving. And then he probably just started boosting now.
Yeah.
And I think I still have eyes on this dude. And I think I even called that I had it because of my angle. Which I think is good, but in a situation like this, when you don't know if your teammate's gonna jump for it, your best bet, you actually did a really good job. I like this turn, because this puts you in a really good position. And currently you can see that he's still not up.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing to know, so you know you have a bit of time to get up to this. But at this point, especially at the higher ranks, your best bet is just to jump and go for it. It's an awkward jump, but it's a jump that you'll get used to making. And it'll at least put pressure on the shooter, because even if you don't necessarily get a touch on this, as long as you jump and are kind of in the general vicinity of where the shot would have to go, you're gonna make the save. Because a lot of times in the higher ranks, people will jump and they're like, I'm not gonna get a touch on this ball before the opponent does. But I can put myself in a position to know that when the dude does hit it, he's not gonna get by me. Yeah, those are awkward no matter what.
I am trying to incorporate the swivel a little bit more.
This was a really good beat on your part, this one right here. I don't know if you heard him coming and you knew he was coming, but that touch to beat it around him was really good.
I don't think I knew him. I think I just was like, hey, I could probably beat the first one there.
That's fair. The other thing I would encourage you to do here is, so you slow down, and you should only slow down here if your plan is to drive this ball up the backboard. But I think you were just waiting to try to 50 it into the midfield.
Yeah.
So what I would encourage in this situation is, since you're probably looking for a mid pass anyway, I would right here just hit this ball into the wall. Whether it's a pinch, whatever it is, we don't really have much of a chance of scoring from this position unless you can pinch this into the ceiling or get it to roll out from the curve of the ceiling, because their defense is coming back. So because we don't have an immediate shot, I would rather see a touch to just keep this in, or at the very least, pinching it up to the ceiling. That would work out really well. The other thing I think we can work on in comms is letting each other know where we want the ball. Because if I told you right now, pinch it, like, go ceiling with it, you might be able to adjust and pinch it up there. But because you're like, oh, I'll just try to get this mid, it's like, oh, what way can I do that? And it's like, oh, well, just trying to 50 it through seems like a decent idea. And it doesn't end badly, so it's not like it's a horrible play. As long as it doesn't end badly, we're good. This is just so unfortunate.
Oh, yeah.
So I think in this situation, the one thing that can be done better, number one, I wish I had boost, but then I flipped to the side of the ball. So from here, because I'm getting chased, you know that the only option I have is to play this to my left. So if you arc out a little bit further to your left, no one's going to be able to challenge the pass, because Death Wish is who knows where at this point. And the reason this ends a little bit poorly is because, number one, you don't know when the pass is coming, but then you also don't have time to react to where the pass is, so you can't put a decent, like, that. You can't put that planned of a shot on. It kind of just rolls into you, and you go with what you got. But if you were just a little bit further to the left, you could have hooked in on this and actually planned the shot out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So unfortunate that it literally goes right into their post. That's a good demo.
Yeah, I usually try and go for those if I can. Oh, I remember that. I just completely and poorly read that bounce.
Yeah, so
I don't know why I thought the wall was farther back.
This is true. One thing that'll help in these situations, so number one, like, you know no one's up, because if you're looking at these names and you're listening, like, no one's jumped yet. Deathwish just flipped, which you can kind of tell. But if you just hook out, and let me go back to this. So instead of jumping here, if you just hook out to here, because the thing is, from you trying to read this, unless you know exactly where that ball is going and you can get it pinched out to the side, your best bet is to try to block a shot, because you're probably going to assume that you're going to get beaten to it anyway. But with how slow this ball is going, because it literally took its sweet time to get up here. But yeah, because of how slow this ball is going, if you, like, flip out to this side, and kind of watch it from more of an angle instead of having it go straight over your head, coming at it from an angle makes it much easier than trying to read a ball that's here.
Agreed.
Because that is incredibly difficult unless you're getting up to it before it hits the back wall. That is the only time that that's easy. And I say easy, but that's the only time that it's easier if it's going to reach the back wall and you're not going to get up to it, you might as well just play at a better angle and then try to block it from the bounce. Because the other thing you know is, because of how slow this ball is going, this guy can't shoot this ball until it comes off this wall. And until it probably comes out till about here-ish.
Yeah, and if I just stayed on the ground, I could easily figure out exactly where it's going to bounce down and beat him to it. Or at least cover any angle he would have had of getting it out mid.
Yeah, and the other thing I can do to help you out in this situation, because I don't think I did, is let you know that neither of these guys are up. Because if that ball had happened and I had looked back and been like, no one's up, like, you would have had all the time in the world you needed to know, okay, cool, I got time, and then I can go make a move on the ball instead of having to panic because they might be up, and I don't know. So that's where someone in this position is useful, because I have the information that you don't have. Okay, your boost conservation in general.
Okay.
And it will be involved with how you're using your flips. So once you pick up this boost, like, the way on a lot of people do this, you basically have a nervous boost finger, because you're literally, like, every time you need to speed up, you're just constantly tapping boost.
Yeah.
And with where this ball is, so the ball is landing in their corner. So if you want to get closer and you want to get up to Supersonic, what I would recommend is using boost a little bit, but then using your flip. And then once you're up to Supersonic, basically get to where you want to go, and then don't use any more boost, because the amount of boost that's used in order to get up here...
Especially right there, because I'm already going Supersonic.
Just basically knowing when to use boost and when to use your flips, because realistically, with this ball all the way in their corner, like, you don't even need to use any of this boost at all.
Yeah, I could have just drove.
Yeah, you can just drive and use your flips, and you'll get up to Supersonic without wasting any boost. And at the very least, like, you have good boost pathing, because, like, you pick up 1 pad, 2 pads, like, that's really good boost pathing, too. So you have that advantage. So you can afford to use a little bit of boost, but then, especially that extra pulse there at the end, definitely not worth it.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. I think literally every Rocket League player ever struggles with that. I don't think anyone has mastered that yet. Also, come on, Crossbar, give us something.
I almost had the second touch on it too, but it just bounced over me.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind, and this is a very good game sense thing for 2s, because I know you're used to playing 3s and having that third man back. So right now, I'm in their corner, so for you to full out challenge this is really risky, because unless you, like, full out dunk them and it goes back into their corners, if they win this at all, we're in a horrible spot.
Yeah, he's got forward momentum and everything.
Yeah, and the ball's going to be past you, and I'm still trying to get back. So going for challenges as last man is always really, really risky. So you only really want to go for them if you're absolutely certain you're going to win it. So what I think would be good here is, number one, turning here is fine, right? Like, being in this position is great, because I guarantee he knows that you're still here. So the fact that you're around is pressuring him into doing something, which is what we want. So this is all fine. I think going full-fledged for this challenge is where the play breaks down. Like, if you're just kind of chilling here, because also with the speed he's going, this ball is going nowhere. Like, he's not going to get anything on this ball. So if you just kind of wait, you'll at least get a 50 there. Yeah, you kind of just want to delay the time, especially when you see your teammates in the corners. But otherwise, also that challenge on the wall was freaking beautiful. I don't know how much of this was planned.
I don't remember what the hell was going through my head. I think it was just, like, basically getting the ball out of his way so he couldn't get to it. And then it just happened to go up, and I just kept following it.
It was fantastic. Also, I love the turtle celebration.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, so this is another situation where, so currently, what you don't want to do is you don't want to completely take away your options. And by jumping here, you're saying, I'm full-on committed to this ball. Whatever touch I get is the touch I get. And realistically, from here, the only touch you can really get is either, like, a touch off the sidewall or a touch into the corner. And so you can't put anything threatening on net, and with them both being back, they're probably just going to look at you and be like, cool, that's great. Once you're done, I will go ahead and take over. If you stay on the ground here for a bit longer, what you want to do is every touch you have, you want to take someone out of the play. Like, you want to do something with it. So if you stay on the ground here, like, you'll notice that no one is challenging this ball, and, like, now that Mickey's turned towards it, like, now would be the time to go. Because now you're still traveling at the same speed, so you'd be about here. So you can still beat him to this, because you're coming at it with more momentum. And then he'd be out of the play. This ball would be bouncing off the corner wall into the midfield. And then we might have a shot opportunity here on Deathwish, who's the last one back.
Yeah, because Deathwish would have just been turning around. You would have just been pulling up.
Yep. So I think just being a little more patient and realizing they're not jumping, so I don't need to jump. And if I keep moving forward, I can beat them when I need to. A lot of what ends up happening is just paying attention to the other players. Because, yeah, the ball's doing its thing, but if they're not moving towards it currently, then we don't really need to panic rush at it either. Before you aerial for anything, you should probably look at their positions, because, like, right here, I know no one's in a position to go for it. Mickey still hasn't turned around, so he's not going for it. Deathwish Hero is on the curve of the wall. And he... What did Deathwish just do?
He just...
Deathwish just challenged, so yeah. There's no way he's going for that again. So yeah, you would know, if you just take a quick glance, you'll be like, cool, I have a bit of time, and then once you see them moving to attack it, then you can go. I do like how fast you did go for it, though, because you, like, full sent this. It was like, yep, I'm going. So,
it was just me thinking, balls up, I'm up. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, so you have the right idea, right? Because the importance is being able to make decisions fast and just going for whatever it is, and if the decision's wrong, we can correct a wrong decision, which is good. So the fact that you were like, here's my decision and I'm just gonna do it is good, because that's what you want to see. You don't want to see, okay, wait, like, inching forward and, like, you keep braking and slowing down and then maybe you jump for it, but by then they've already beaten you. So, like, the fact that you just went, I'm jumping and going, shows that you're like, yep, I know what I want to do and I'm gonna go for it, which is a good start. It's just now about correcting the decisions to making sure that when you make that quick decision, it's the right one.
Gotcha.
Which, welcome to the world where you will be stuck in for the next, like, 6 years, as I still never do it, so...
Now, should I maybe have not gone for corner there? Because I already had, like, 40 some, and I could have probably picked up, like, 3 pads.
Yeah, with 45 boost, and with all the pads that are on the field, so in your position, and this is always tricky, because I never know if these pads are actually here, or if this is the replay bug happening. Telling me that these pads are here when they're not. Where you're coming, here you come. Okay, so once this happens, I would go boom, 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 and then come this way. So it's okay to get a little bit of boost, but as soon as you see me have possession of the ball, I would flick ball cam off and go boom, 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 and then you're right back into the play with at least 36 more boost, which would put you at like 70 or 80, which would be perfect. Plenty. Yeah, instead of going all the way over there. You'd be back in the play a little bit faster. So this is
to the right.
Yeah, this is kind of the opposite. So Mickey, you see him boosting. So right there, he's boosting, which means he's going behind you. So he's committing to going behind you. Currently, Deathwish is against the back wall. So you actually realistically don't even need to jump for this. Because also, I'm probably able to defend you from if Mickey wants to turn and try to demo, because I'm also heading back that way. So if you catch this, you at least put Deathwish here in a bit of an awkward spot. Because even if you can't necessarily beat him and put a shot on, you can make him have to defend the net, which could lead to a spill-out opportunity for us to score. Luckily, it kind of works out anyway. But yeah, just recognizing space, and that's a thing that, again, just kind of takes forever to kind of come. And a lot of confidence.
I remember that specific hit.
Yeah, so... Number one, I'm not exactly sure why I'm still on the wall at this point, but this is another one of those situations kind of like the one before, where if your teammate is behind the ball, you going is really risky. So if you were the first man, right, and I was behind you, this challenge, actually not bad at all, because you're literally making him flick this ball out of his control, and then if there was someone behind you, they'd be able to take over this ball no problem. But with the fact that your only teammate is on their back wall, going for this is really risky. Because it's not necessarily a bad challenge in hindsight. It's a bad challenge if you're the last man back. Very nice clear on that end. So yeah, this is what, and it kind of worked out because the ball went the other way. But this is a very similar situation to what we had early on in the game, where you kind of pushed up a bit too far up the left side here, and he kind of jumped it over you. Where... you didn't make any kind of challenge for this, but you turned around early once you made sure you knew he had it, and you were able to defend the shot. So that was very well done. Yeah, this is another situation where I would probably avoid doing this little donut into net. I would probably I would probably just pull up again next to the back post, and just kind of wait there. Because, like, from here, you're gonna struggle to defend some stuff. From here, you're really gonna struggle to defend some stuff.
Yeah.
And you have 45 boost, so you're still fine on boost. And then from... Luckily, I don't know what exactly their plan was, because then you just did that. And it worked out somehow.
Yeah, well, I saw him going out wide, and I was like, Mickey's not gonna get there. So I was like, I could probably beat him to it.
Yeah, and there's another really smart
That's
play
just
where...
luck.
That
was luck.
Where you see he's air dribbling, so you know you don't, like, nothing is gonna happen here, and even if Mickey does beat you, like, his only option is to hit it away from him, because you're literally right here. So if you don't get a touch, it's going away from both of them. So just waiting for this ball to come down and not trying to do any weird challenges is really smart, and then, yeah, the fact that they pushed up into that and just kind of gave us a free goal is freaking fantastic. So... Ooh, I just realized a possible opportunity here that might have been good. Let me see if it's possible, though. Maybe. So, once I get this touch, if your brain thinks of it enough from this position, the best thing you can do is demo the crap or bump the crap out of Death Wish. Because if we get a bump on him, that's a free net.
Yeah.
And I just saw that because I'm like, Mickey's out of the play. He ain't gonna be back for a bit. Death Wish is turning, but if we bump him, this is a free goal. And it's hard to think of that in the moment, but I think in general rule of thumb again, if we are both on their half and the ball is also on their half, and they're both behind us, bumping someone is probably the best thing we can do.
Yeah, no, 100% went through my head was as soon as I saw it was bouncing off and coming back, was my idea was just turn around and get there as quick as I could. But then I think I saw it was either you or him had a better angle, so then I went to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely should have went for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been tough because he moved so fast to get to this. So I'm not exactly sure if you would have gotten it. But that's probably the best option we have. Because... And obviously you can't commit to this bump before you see this touch. Although in hindsight, if you can get yourself up to Supersonic and go for that bump right away. Because the other thing we might want to do, because if I lose that challenge... bumping Death Wish is also a benefit because then Mickey has to score by himself and doesn't have a teammate there to help him.
Yeah.
So just, and you did it earlier in this game where you just kind of were coming back on rotation and boomed the crap out of the second man, who would have been the passing option. So yeah, if you can get rid of one of their players on all rotations back, it's always beneficial. Obviously, this is still, like, we have a minute left, that's always a tough situation to know. Like, and you see a ball that could be a shot, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going for that. So, here's another thing, and this
was a terrible read on me. That was my first mistake, was when it was going to the wall, I thought it was going to go out sideways more, not so much up.
So the other thing you can do, though, so once this happens, and this just comes... This is something else I struggle with, is just when something happens that I don't expect, reacting to it quickly. Because once that bounce happens, and the ball's here, like, there is nothing you can do. Like, you're kind of toast. So what I would do, because if this ball bounces flat, you don't need to turn your car, right? So you're heading at this wall sideways. Like, I would just continue, like, I would slow down, and I would continue looking at the wall and not turn my car. Because if the ball comes out flat, currently there's no one else in your camera, so you will still be first to that ball if it comes out flat. But if the weird bounce happens like it does here, you can immediately hit the drift to the left and head back towards net because you know there's nothing else for you to do here. Another one of those awkward...
That's the pinnacle of how bad they get. That's, like, exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is another one of the situations where, in this instance, because the ball is coming at the wall so fast, you don't really have the time to make that turn like we did earlier.
Yeah, and my camera being up for the most part, like, I don't remember at this point where Mickey is, so I'm...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and this is another thing that would technically be rectified by immediately making that U-turn, but since we're here, like, in this situation... you kind of just gotta jump. The good news is, like, you're at least in line with the ball as if you were an offensive player in this situation. And all you gotta do if you're playing defense from this kind of position is just shoot badly.
Yeah, shoot it off the wall or something.
Yeah, because from this position, if you keep ball cam on, it should be actually, and you have 100 boost, so you're like well and good on boost. So if you just keep ball cam on and jump, chances are you will at least get a touch as it reaches the wall. And now we're just, like, in panic mode, like, just get the ball downfield as fast as possible. I'm annoyed he saved that, because I might have had a double there. Good attempt at centering it. I'm out of boost, so it's awkward, and we're trying, and that's a horrible shot. I think we do a really good job in this last 30 seconds, though, just keeping the pressure on. And then they get a double demo, and that's kind of that.
Oh, and then he fakes up at the wall. Oh, is that not this game?
No, that was one of our ranked games that we played later.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I tried to keep it up, and then this is when they got their extra goal.
That's right.
All in all, I don't think it was too bad. A lot of the mistakes are pretty much general things that are expected to happen as you rank up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should give you a general idea of what's going on.